Let's go over some basics of working with wire. All right, so let's first look at some things that we have. First, you have these chain nose pliers. These are small detail tools. You'll use them for secondary gripping and for small areas. Needle nose pliers will be your primary tools. They can cut, they can bend, they can shape. You have two types of wire. This heavier, stiffer wire is better for armatures. It gives more strength. And then this flexible, softer wire is good for sculptures where you're visibly going to see the wire. It's easier to bend and shape. So we're mostly going to be using this thinner, more flexible sculpture wire. So open it up and just be careful that you don't let it go everywhere. Sometimes it uncoils itself, it gets really tangled, right? It kind of pops open. So just be careful with that because it is very hard to untangle it. All right, so here's how your needle nose pliers work. In the back end, there's this cutting area. And so what you would do is you'd place your wire inside that back area and then you squeeze to cut it. Now, if you're working with a stiffer wire, sometimes when you cut it, the end goes flying. So I would recommend holding the end that you cut so it doesn't fly everywhere. All right, so to join two pieces together, this is really important because you want a strong bond. So I hold it in the pair of pliers. It doesn't actually matter if it's the needle nose or chain nose. And then for the flexible wire, this softer one, I can twist it by hand like this. If I was using the stiffer wire, I'd probably need the other pliers to do this. And then the end, though, it gets too stiff to work with, and I would just use my pliers to crimp it down so it lies flat against the other wire. And then I can do the same on the other side. So you want to make sure the wires aren't sticking out everywhere. Not only does that increase the probability of them scratching something, but they also it doesn't look as nice. It still matters a little less if you're making an armature where you're not going to see this, but you wouldn't want it to poke through. So you can see that's a really strong join, and then you can use your pliers to straighten it out because it will get. So here's what you don't want to do when you join your wires when your goal is to make a strong connection point. So sometimes what people will do when they're trying to join two pieces together is make two loops to kind of hold it on there. Now this could work if you want to make, say, a hinge or something, right? But generally speaking, when we're working with wire for sculpture, we want our joints to always be strong. So this example right here does not work for a stable joint. And the reason why is that they will always kind of rotate and pivot, just like this right here, which doesn't give you a strong sculpture. It just moves around a lot. So avoid that.